Welcome back, Captains. This is Admiral U.S.S with Starfleet Special Command. I'm here today with a ship build series update featuring my Avenger, the U.S.S Vengeance. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and get started here. Starting off with 4 weapons: experimental Romulan plasma beam array. All of these beam arrays are going to be from the Romulan reputation. I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 Romulan plasma beam arrays, Mark 12 Crit D times 2. Gravimetric photon torpedo launcher is from the Dyson reputation. For my 4-piece, I have the Elite Fleet Axion deflector array. That is from the Fleet Starbase. Romulan advanced prototype impulse engines. Those are going to be from Romulan reputation. Got the Elite Fleet Plasma integrated warp core, Mark 12. That is going to be from the Spire, Fleet Spire. And Elite Fleet Adaptive Resilient Shield Array. That is going to be from the Fleet Starbase. Alright, go back here and go over these real quick. The Axion deflector array. This 3-piece right here, the deflector array, the engines, and the shield. Pretty much everybody that's running beam boats are running these 3, and this warp core also. What I've noticed about this, if you're a really good pilot and you can fly really well, you can manage your power levels, manage your hull health, manage your shields really well. You don't have anything to worry about. But if you're new coming into keybinds and new to this DPS scene, you can swap these out for the assimilated deflector array and the assimilated subtranswarp engines. That'll take care of any squishiness or anything else that you get. Or if you don't want to spend the dilithium or the fleet credits on these, those other 2 will work. You will notice a DPS loss, but it's like if you're not shooting for max DPS, it's not going to make that big of a difference for you. The reason they were going with this one is because it boosts the Starship attack patterns, which is your attack pattern beta. So I'll go over that here shortly. The reason they were going with this warp core is because of the AMP, which adds the plus 3.7% all damage for each subsystem with 75 or more power. That's coming from auxiliary to battery. When auxiliary to battery activates, it's going to boost all of your other power systems except for auxiliary power, and they will all be over 75, so you're going to get that extra damage buff there. Also, if you've watched my last video, you'll be kind of see where this is going. Everything is going with extra crit D, extra crit H, which is going to be your crit severity and crit chance. So all these consoles are going to be headed, to that effect. You got your extra crit chance and crit severity. The 2-piece set between the proton particle stabilizer and the gravimetric photon torpedo up there gives you, again, plus 3% critical chance, more crit chance. 0-point energy conduit, which is a 2-piece with the experimental Romulan plasma beam array. It's going to give you plus 7.6% plasma damage. And the assimilated module is going to give you, not a lot, but some. I bypassed it right there. 0.92% critical chance and 9.2% critical severity. Come down here. This will be a flow capacitor science. This is going to be from your fleet embassy. It adds that 9.6% plasma damage. It's also going to add that 31.9 to Starship flow capacitors, and flow capacitors help plasmonic leech. Plasmonic leech leeches away energy from your enemies and gives you added power on your subsystems. So the more flow capacitors you have, the more energy you get. The more energy stays up, the less energy drain you have, the more DPS you have. Got the Spire tactical consoles from the Fleet Spire. These are the vulnerability locators. Plasma, plus 1.6% critical chance, plus 31.9% plasma energy weapon damage. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit the stations real quick for my bridge officers. Running auxiliary to battery, beam fire at will, you've got the beam fire at will 3, attack pattern beta 1, and tactical team 1, and torp spread. The attack pattern beta, this is what I was talking about, that was boosting those Romulan engines were boosting was your attack patterns. This is the attack pattern that boosts. When attack pattern beta, basically what ends up happening when it hits a target with a beam fire at will, it's going to reduce that. It's going to give it that all damage resistance rating, and it stacks with everybody else on your team. So if everybody else is running attack pattern beta, it's going to debuff their target, give you more DPS. And using beam fire at will means it tags everything that's in range. So you've got an area of effect, a fire for your beam array fire at will, and you've also got an area of effect torpedo spread. Alright, for my engineering bridge officers, doing like I've always done, emergency power to shields, emergency power to weapons, rotating those with auxiliary battery. They are up pretty much all the time. Depending on your playstyle, you may switch these back and forth. Just know if you drop this down to emergency powered weapons 1, you're going to lose a little bit of DPS. But if you want to go a little bit more on the tankier side, you can swap these two out. And of course, you've also got your auxiliary to battery 1 on both of them, so you're running 2 of those. I've got an engineering team 1, give you that hull heal when you need it. And reverse shield polarity. This is your get out of jail free card. What I've noticed with reverse shield polarity and auxiliary battery, it's up for a pretty good amount of time. What you can do, which I'll show you this when we go to my duty officers, there's actually a duty officer that will lengthen reverse shield polarity. So I got for the science station, science team, and hazard emitters. So basically what I'm using, you can use reverse shield polarity when you get into trouble. You can also use it as a shield heal, because as it just basically charges your shields instead of takes away from them when they're firing at you. And then you've got your 2 teams right here. These used to have a cooldown, shared cooldown amongst the 3 teams. They do not now, so I use these to maintain. When I start seeing and the cooldowns with auxiliary batteries 15 seconds. I mean, you can hit these things every 15 seconds. It's amazing. So basically what I do is when I start seeing my shields falling, I'll hit the science team and I'll hit them both at the same time. And I use that to just kind of keep my health up as high as I can, and when I get into trouble, I'll hit the reverse shield polarity. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the duty officers real quick. Since I've kind of gone a little bit more toward the torpedo side on this, since I picked up the torpedoes, I put the 2 projectile weapons officers. These are giving you the 20% chance to improve recharge time by 5 seconds. I'm running 2 of those. And you got the 3 technicians. These each are going to bridge officer power recharge is reduced by 10%. That's going to give you 30% reduction on your bridge officer power, so it pretty much brings everything down to cooldown. These 2 right here are going to be, you can buy these from your Borg reputation, Omega. And these 3 I picked up from Doffing Bertrand. It's a colony missions that you have to do a series of like 9 missions or 7 missions, I think, and then at the end of it, on the repeatable, if you crit on the repeatable, you get one of these as a reward. Alright. And then I've got my Warp Core Engineer, which he's going to give 20% chance to power levels plus 25. That actually happens quite a bit. It's actually really neat. As you're cycling your emergency powered weapons, emergency powered shields, so it says chance to temporarily improving your ship's weapons, shields, and engines auxiliary power on use of emergency power ability. So that's going to, as you're rotating these, 20% chance is basically 1 out of 5 times. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. It's going to give you a 1 out of, basically 1 in 5 chances. So every time these cycle back and forth, you're going to get a 1 in 5 or 20% chance for it to boost. And like I said, every time, just about every time during an STF I look down there, they're up really high because of that. So that also happens when, it also helps you out when auxiliary battery goes into cooldown and your power levels start to fall off. That'll come in there and boost those power levels back up. Since I said I'd say something about it, I'll show you this other duty officer. There it is. It's a fabrication engineer. Increases the duration of reverse shield polarity by 8 seconds. That also, like I said, that'll help you out if you would like it to last a little bit longer. That, like I said, that reverse shield polarity is going to be your get out of jail free card. So this also works really well with the new crafting system that they just come out with in 9.5 season. That's one of the ones that you need anyway. So I picked that one up off exchange. It was a little expensive. I want to say it was 7-8 million energy credits. Alright, go ahead and talk about keybinds, power levels real quick, and then we'll be wrapping everything up, guys. Power levels right now, I'm running 125, 75, 55, and 62. Like I said, pretty much, if y'all have been watching for a while, you know that I'm using the Hilbert Guide keybinds for Tray 7. When season 9.5 come around, I ended up reinstalling those keybinds, and it fixed. If y'all remember, it was activating from right to left. When I reinstalled it, it started activating like it's supposed to from right to left. I don't know what happened. Somehow it got mixed up in there somehow. So, but basically, when you run an auxiliary to battery, you want to have your emergency power to shields and weapons up first. I like putting my tactical team, attack pattern beta, my buffs first, and then the beam fire at will, and then I stick the torp on the end. But the main, you can play with the order of these. I really haven't noticed a crazy DPS difference, but this is where this is the way I've been getting my max DPS, so I've just left it there. But the one thing you do have to make sure you do is with these abilities here, they need to come before auxiliary to battery. Activate all your abilities, then hit auxiliary to battery. That way it cools down everything. If you hit it first, it wouldn't work right. So like I said, just make sure that all these are first, then you have your auxiliary to battery. And like I said, this is just the normal how I've had my tray set up since I started playing the game, and that's just, you can set it up however you like, but like I said, tray 7's got to be like that. So that's going to be a subspace field modulator, and then I got the fleet support. That way I don't ever have to deal with it. It's just there when I need it. My health gets low, it automatically comes. So alright guys, real quick I'll go over, at the very end of the video I'm going to end up showing the parses for the Avenger. I think I've got 3 or 4 that I can show you. The max one was sitting right at almost 25k. Like I said, this has been my go-to ship. I've gotten the most DPS out of this ship. I've got a Romulan character that's up and coming that may beat it, but we're just going to have to see. But like I said, right now I've got a 24k parse. I had a couple 23s and I think a 22 that I can stick in there just to give you all an idea about what the ship's producing. But guys, if y'all have any questions, concerns, comments, suggestions for the channel, things you would like to see me review or cover, just go ahead and shoot me an email in game. YadaStafark, shoot me a PM if you can catch me on. Like I said, if y'all have any questions, just let me know. Y'all take it easy. YadaStafark.